Best Buy walkthrough, Black Friday edition, up next.
I've seen things people wouldn't believe.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Brian. This is Tech Therapy. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Thanksgiving. If you are in the States, if you're not in the States, happy Thursday. I wanted to do a Best Buy walkthrough. These were a staple of my channel for many, many years. Used to do them bi-weekly before I had access to these TVs, before Best Buy even gets them, thanks to our friends at Value Electronics. But during the shutdown, these videos became even more valuable. It was the only way some of you would get out of the house, was be able to watch me walk through these stores. So I figured I'd do one for you guys, for the community that's gonna watch on Thanksgiving. There may not be any of you watching right now, but I wanted to be able to show you what the store looks like. The sales, things of that nature, you can easily see online, but I wanna show you the state of the store, what it looks like, how they set it up. There's been some interesting differences. Vizio's gone. TCL has stepped up. There's a story and everything in regards to the TV industry. And those of you on Thanksgiving, if you're not with friends or not with family, if you don't have much in regards to friends and family, you do have me and you do have this community. It's not something I just say, it's something that I believe. I do look at you guys as family, as friends. We are a community, and I'm so grateful that you are there. Happy Thanksgiving. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. All right, guys, let's do it. Happy Thanksgiving. I'm doing this audio on Thanksgiving morning before I begin cooking for the day. I hope you guys are doing well. Right off the bat, we're going to start with TCL for me, which is the star of this video. My biggest complaint for TCL and Hisense was lack of store presence. Having these amazing TVs be word of mouth instead of having where you can actually see them in person. And right off the bat, the first major TV you see is the TCL QM8, one of the most popular TVs this year and one of the largest hopes for mini LED TVs of all sizes, especially the larger sizes. The QM8, one of the most popular TVs, again released in 2023. They are poised to do amazing things in 2024. Now, the QM8 looks much better in person. The local dimming is much better than it is in this retail mode. The QM8 is very impressive, very bright, very saturated, very aggressive local dimming, but something that I actually appreciate, as the blooming is minimal in person and outside of this retail mode. Now, you also see TCL throughout the store later, and kind of a surprise at the end, but you'll also see these end caps, which is what's littered throughout the store, are these much cheaper, more value-based TVs. This is where the real savings is. Right here you have TCL and then a random Hisense soundbar right in front of it. Those are the biggest differences. We look at the former Magnolia section. There's a lot of these cheaper TVs kind of littered throughout the store, the Fire TVs, and I'll show you those as well. Again, you can look at the prices on your own. They should be valid for now. This is only filmed a day ago. Hisense U7K and the TCL Q7. Amazing how Hisense and TCL did battle this year with the U7K, U8K, Q7, and QM8. Now, Hisense is also someone I've complained to about not having a larger store presence. That has not changed. They need to have a kiosk in store as well. I know they do have them at other Best Buys, but they need a much bigger store presence with the UX and the U8K. Hisense had a killer year. Now, here we're looking also at LG. I'm going to jump back and forth with LG and the QNED lineup that I'm very disappointed that they did not follow up with the mini LED lineup. It was sorely missing this year. As you look at the other TCL here in front of you, we're going to jump back and forth. But for LG, the QNED is something I wish they would have stayed with, because as good as their OLEDs are, we're kind of done talking about them. They release so early in the year, and then they're kind of out of the news. That is the bargain section here towards the left hand of the store. Again, random sound bars throughout. Now also, the one company that kills it every year is Samsung's kiosk. Every model they have available is here. If I have any complaints for Samsung is there are too many models. I actually sold 2 S90Cs while I was here shooting this video, and you did have, or at least I did have, a couple families looking at their 7 series, which I don't really think is worth picking up. The 85 to me is where the real value and picture quality is, 85 and up. But the S90C is one of the best values in all of TVs. Quantum.OLED, a step behind the S95C. If you can forego the one Connect box, the S90C is the best value in TVs right now for picture quality, performance, and value. But Samsung's pad, is what they're called, is always top-notch. 8K in the center, and then their flagships all around it. What has been different this year is the QD OLEDs, probably a few months into when they launched, replaced the QN90 as the flagship, showing you a shift for Samsung, where mini LEDs will become less of a focus. Last year, the S95B was nowhere to be found on the main pad. Now you see the 95C proudly on top, which is where the mini LED flagship typically is. Then you have your 8K in the middle. Kudos for Samsung to still have not only 8K, but 2 options, the 900C and the 800C. Now in their QD Neo QLED market, again, it's a little bit crowded. And also, I don't love the different variations of ADS panels and VA panels changing every size. But Samsung does have something for everyone. Big gamer, big movie watcher, people do prefer them. They are still the #1 brand in the world for sales and innovation as far as I'm concerned. And there's the S90C for me, again, the star of this video. Look how gorgeous they are. Best demo material in the business. And even in smaller Best Buys, they show up. I can't say the same for the other manufacturers where the pads are basically falling apart. It is on the manufacturer to dictate how these TVs are positioned. And as I mentioned, the S95B last year was hidden back here. Now it's featured prominently in several different areas of the store. It actually has one kiosk by itself. But Samsung is absolutely killing it, as they always do. They kill you with volume and quality. Always top notch. Moving over to LG, which has a standalone QNED. Again, I thought the QNED lineup, even the 8K, having an 86-inch model was something I was looking forward to. They basically abandoned it and are now carrying one model over, which isn't even in their highest end. I think it's a huge missed opportunity for LG. G3 was phenomenal. The C3 is phenomenal, but with so few options in their lineup. The Z series is carried over. The M is this wireless OLED that not many of you are going to care much about, considering it also lacks MLA. But I was really hoping the QNED would be their next option, other than just OLEDs. Give you something else to talk about as we're looking at the C series and the G series. Now, none of these TVs should be off. They should all be on. That's not LG's fault. Showing you the prices. C3 is phenomenal. The problem with me with LG is resting on their laurels. The MLA is the big jump for them, which I think is groundbreaking for them. However, I think MLA to different degrees should have been throughout their lineup. The C3 just had too much competition with the A80L and namely the S90C. But LG's also reliable, been in the business for years, the innovator of OLED, and still a huge option. But other than the OLEDs you see on this wall, that's where a QNED is randomly sitting there, and there's usually another QNED, they're called, above it. showing you it's so important to keep models coming out throughout the year. Why have you seen Sony covered on this channel so much? Well, they released late in the year, and they're somebody we always talk about because they're still releasing TVs even before CES. Now we're here in the former Magnolia section where there's a G3 on the wall. Now the way the store was designed before, this would be a very nice place to see. Now it's kind of hidden in the back. Some random furniture and sound bars strewn throughout. LG is also up next in our report card video for year end. Now most of the Black Friday sales you'll see are on these TVs that are on the floor, boxes all over the place. They have a ton of inventory here. Now TCL, here's the big surprise. They actually took over Vizio's pad. Vizio had a pad here for many, many years, which was supported by them and was kind of an embarrassment with just the M series. And I've always been an advocate for Vizio, but TCL investing the money and putting in not only these two TVs, but paying for the pad and putting in a sound bar and kiosk altogether. Huge show of support by them. Now they're right there with the big boys. And watching TCL and Hisense break in, Hisense had an amazing year. UX, U7K, UAK, TCL, QM8, Q7. High-end specs at a value. And both of those companies are in the large TV business. For mini LED, these 100 inches are becoming extremely popular. And they're taking mini LED where the other manufacturers are shrinking away, keeping things very bright. Now moving over to Sony. Sony's kiosk is usually pretty good. It's a mixture of last year and this year. I'm proud to report that all of the TVs here are current. Now this 8 series large LEDs from Sony are a huge seller. Massive TVs, very affordable. Typically they have very limited local dimming, if local dimming at all. They're a little hard to recommend, but if you need an 85-inch, they are very, very popular. I'm looking to review some of these next year while they're not carried at Value Electronics. I'm looking to get some of these in for review for you guys so I can cover them. You're also seeing the A80L, which is my TV, up top, and the X90L, which is my TV as well. The 90 series has become one of the most popular models from Sony. It releases pretty expensive and then drops drastically, and then everyone is looking at that TV right now. And there's a 77 up top, again, entry level. All TVs should be on. But the X90L, it's amazing. Since the 90J released, it's always kind of, it's too expensive. By the end of the year, everyone wants to see that TV. And the X90L is no different. Why the X90L is so important this year is the entry-level XR Clear TV, which is Sony's processing, which is top-notch this year. Now you're seeing the A80L. I have the 83-inch at home, and the X90L go head-to-head. A little comparison in the middle of the video. I'll actually have my 83-inch go against my 65-inch just to have it. And look at TCL right there. That's what I mean about presence. So important to have that presence. Now, why I stopped doing these videos, guys, is that typically there'd be very little in the store. Look at the local dimming. Now, showing you some of the other TVs on the floor. Now, I'll get back to doing these videos. I'll actually do one after Christmas, as I'll be in South Carolina. Now, here, what's interesting is that table there is where the Z9D used to be. That was all Sony TVs there. Z9D was the... That's, I'll always remember, that's where it was. Now there's an AK Samsung there. Samsung's on the floor. And then there's a whole Sony area here. Now the S90C has actually replaced, you can see the AK kiosk. This is typically where the 900C would be. And they have a QD OLED there. Just a little sign of the times where Samsung is headed. But again, during the holidays, I will bring you a full Costco video in South Carolina, as well as a Best Buy video after the holidays and right before CES. Now, LG C series is still the one most people move towards, but they can't rest on their laurels. They need to innovate more next year, and I hope they do. Excellent soundbars that work in tandem with them. And all these manufacturers now with their soundbars, LG, Samsung, and Sony, have this nice ecosystem that connects very well with their TVs. Now moving back into Sony, a lot of the same TVs here. Unfortunately, they're off. There is an X93 I wish was on. It isn't, unfortunately. But the X93, excellent TV, been very overlooked as it lacks XR Clear. It's still basically an X95 from last year. It's improved to some degree. Don't overlook this one as it drops in price. And now here's the A95L, in my opinion, the best TV in the world right now. Unfortunately, it's off as well. Master Series is unbelievable. I don't expect you're going to see another Master Series until the very end of next year. They typically will carry over. Magnolia section is really no more at this point. Typically in this section here in the corner, you'd see more Samsungs. There's actually the Samsung frame, which I'll also show you, which is, sorry, it's a little blurry there. And this area always has a special place in my heart. As I mentioned, the Z9D was here. The VT60, ZT60 plasmas were here. That's how far back the store goes. I bought a couple of my plasmas here. And not much rhyme or reason for how these TVs are placed within Magnolia now. Again, that's where Sony's typically are. Now, what's funny is the frame is the super popular TV with this very low contrast ratio that everybody loves, but it's a big seller. I always show it. It's a cool option, I guess. Very popular, though. There's the frames you can buy. Now, what's cool here is I'm finally seeing my A75 OLED, the A80L lower priced. I was the first one to break that thanks to Rob Brennan from Sony. And there it is. I couldn't even get one of these in for review simply because there's such limited supply. But I can vouch for the A80L is incredible. The A75 is exactly the same with a different body, only one stand selection. But I'm showing you here the two different prices put together. I actually moved those myself. They are finally now different in price. The A75 is a winner. A little bit less sound options, but still very good. Don't miss this one. But now you can see the big difference in price. A couple $100 will save you. You know, just very, very cool to see the A75. I wish I could see it in person. Now there's the G3. Again, just showing you the Magnolia section. Now I hope these stores never go away. That's why I continue to support them. Relying on us to show you TVs online or, you know, on YouTube. Still being able to walk in, do your research, get stuff from us, and then say, you know what, I want to see the TV in person. It's still so important. Even though these TVs are in Vivid or retail mode, just having the ability to see it yourself is so important. Showing you the prices of the TVs there. This is where the real savings is. This is back where, you know, the monster cables kind of used to be. I'll continue to show you these little end caps. Really popular brand are those Samsung CUs. Now, the reason I like to show you these TVs, I'm never going to review these. This is kind of like whatever brand you like, grab. Now, why I want to kind of show you this area towards the end of the video. This is where the physical media used to be. Now, I don't want to end this video on a sad note, But physical media is being phased out of Best Buy, and that's unfortunate, but that's okay. You'll still see Amazon support them. There'll always be somewhere for physical media to live. Right here where I'm showing you these TVs is where the physical media section used to be. This is where they were. There were 6 racks here back in the day, and I'm actually going to show you where or how it used to look in a moment. That's all that's left are these little paper things that come in, they unwrap them. I'd rather see it gone, to be honest, than see it kind of thrown around like this. I'd rather see there be nothing than see it empty like this. I'll come back to this in 1 second. Another popular LG. Again, these are very popular in the Costco, Sam Clubs, and Walmarts. Hard to recommend them when TVs that are just a higher level are superior. This is all throughout the store again. This is where your real savings is going to be. These smaller size TVs, a couple $100. At this level, it doesn't really matter which one you buy. They're typically all the same. A few $100 more and you'll get something with local dimming. You know, it's kind of a race to the bottom, but quick TV, a couple $100. Now here again, coming back to where the physical media used to be. At the very end of this video, I'm going to show you a video I shot last year where even the physical media that was there was already dwindling and it's still twice the size. I'm going to show you that right now. This is last year. This might even be the year before. This is when it was already dying and it's still double the amount. Now, don't be too sad about this, because keep in mind, how often do you really walk in and buy a movie? Amazon, places like that will always be an option. Physical media is never going completely away. But look at how many used to be there. And this is when it was already declining. I'll do a tech therapy on physical media coming up if you're interested in that. But I shot this showing you how much less there was than previous. And right now, it's like a ton compared to what was there. But while I shot this, they had DVDs mixed with Blu-rays, mixed with 4K. So this whole area is from a few years ago. That's where those cheaper TVs are now. Now, towards the end of this video, for those of you watching live on Thanksgiving, I want to tell you how much I appreciate your friendship. I appreciate this community. I love you guys. I don't just say that, I mean it. You guys enrich my life in so many ways, not just through my YouTube channel, but in my life and in my heart. And I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey. Again, if you don't have much in regards to family and friends and you are alone on these holidays, I'm here. We are here as a group. For all you guys watching live, love you guys. I am again so grateful to have you here. Don't be sad about physical media. It'll never completely go away. But I much rather see it gone in store than see it this way, empty and kind of forgotten. All right, guys, I am Brian. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. See you in the next video.